How many of you are already seeing, for example, financial advisors step into your practice area? Well, who is this for? This is for you if you are feeling the squeeze from AI, legal tech of any kind, cheap legal, I'll define that in a moment, or financial advisors or other non-legal service professionals moving into the legal space. Now, I do want to give you a caveat that what I share today is only for lawyers who really want to lead with heart and soul and make a difference in their clients' lives and make lots of money and have a great life at the same time. So yes, we're all about you working less and making more, however, not at the expense of your clients. There's a way that you can work less and make more by working smarter, by working better, and by creating more value for your clients while leveraging efficiencies of team and technology. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So we evolve the practice of law in a way that works for you and your clients, in a way that works for you and your clients. And what you're going to learn today is how to completely counter the rise of AI while using technology to its fullest, and how to counter the rise of financial advisors swarming into our space without you needing to resort to race to the bottom tactics where you charge less and less for your services. Now, I want to warn you, this may not apply to you if you are content with litigation, hourly billing, and spending your days in court or dealing with opposing counsel. This is for lawyers who are offering legal services, which we used to call transactional, but now going forward, we're going to call relational. And one note for those of you, if you are litigators, you can make a change. You can be really happy not going to court, not dealing with opposing counsel, and not escalating conflict. Today, what you're going to see is you're going to see me use estate planning as an example in all of the different case studies and examples that I'm showing you. But if you aren't doing estate planning, then you can apply what I'm sharing today to your practice area, as long as it's a transactional or personal practice area, not so much a litigation-oriented practice area where you have to escalate conflict in order to get paid. And if you are doing estate planning or you want to be doing estate planning, then you're going to want to stay all the way to the end today. I don't think I'm going to be able to complete in the next 45 minutes. I'm going to do my best. But if I do go a bit over, you're going to want to stay to the end because I've got some special next step gifts for you that you're going to want so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, so that you really are able to leverage much of what I've created for you here. All right, so let me just start off by saying something really important that you may or may not know, and I'm curious if this is something that is already clear to you or if this is something that is news. You have to earn top line revenue, gross revenue, total revenue coming into your law practice of at least $250,000 a year in order to have a business. Now, if you're not making this yet, don't worry, you can. But in order to do that, you're going to need to implement what I'm sharing with you today. And then if you do, the sky isn't even the limit. We've got lawyers who are doing upwards of $3 million a year with what I'm sharing with you today. Of course, that doesn't happen overnight, but today could be day one for you, and you can absolutely, without question, get there. But in order to do it, you got to start somewhere, and that somewhere is minimum $250,000 a year in revenue to have a real business and take home enough to make it worth your while to even be in business. So my question for you is, where are you starting? Where are you starting now? So I just want to give you a little case study of one of the lawyers in our personal family lawyer firm leader program. This is Trish. She joined us in 2020. And that was, of course, as you know, in the middle of COVID, right? Kind of beginning of COVID. And within just months, including the time of her entire family getting COVID in August, her 16-month-old son, her husband, and her having to quarantine with no help and no childcare, she was able to get her practice up and running from scratch and engage 2 clients for 2 family wealth planning sessions. You'll hear me talk about that at $4,000 each 2 lift business sessions with business owners at $5,000 each, and got 2 more family wealth planning sessions booked. So that was just the beginning, the first couple months of her firm. Okay. 2021, 1-year update. In the last 30 days, Trisha's firm had made over $40,000 of revenue in 1 month. That tracks out to about $480,000 a year. In 2023, Trish then began to run regular events that we supported her to run. She calls them Whiskey and Wills. Many of our personal family lawyer firms run wine and wills events, and potential revenue from one of her events, she was sharing here $90,000 with her average fee of $4,500. Okay. And her total cost for that event was $3,400. All right. And now, where do you want to go? So this is Trish in 2024, just 4 years later. She opened her firm 4 years ago, no prior estate planning experience whatsoever. And now 4 years later, she has bought this building. And somebody posted in her local Facebook group in her town asking for an estate planning attorney. And out of 70 comments, her firm was recommended 50 times. 50 times. Now, I'm sharing this with you because wherever you are today, you can be in an entirely different place 3 to 4 years from now with a $1 million plus business if you choose it. We have 3 different practice models: a solo practice model, a staff practice model, and $1 million empire practice model. You get to choose, where do you want to be 3 years from now? And so I want you to remember this date. I want you to get a piece of paper out if you don't have one. I want you to write this date at the top of your piece of paper or on your notepad on your computer. Where are you starting today? Where are you starting today? And now write down this date 3 years from now. Where do you want to be? How much do you want to be earning? How much do you want to be taking home? Do you want to be buying a building? Do you want to be traveling for 2 weeks at a time? Do you want to be ready to perhaps even sell your business? So I'm going to break down for you exactly what we guided Trish to do over the past 4 years using a heart-centered approach to estate planning that cannot be replaced by AI or the financial advisors swarming into our space, thanks to the tech companies who are rising to serve them, with a heart-centered counseling methodology and how to apply that regardless of what practice area you are in, because I'm going to give you the framework. I'm going to give you the framework. Okay. And if you want to take a stand for yourself and post here in the chat with where you want to be 3 to 4 years from now, do that. Do that. Take a stand here in the chat for yourself. Let us know. How can we support you? Where is it that you want to go? Because today is just day one. When you apply what I'm sharing here with you, your success getting there is inevitable if you have support and guidance along the way. So the tech is already here, right? Sonia asks in a group, has anyone seen this? AI is coming for estate planning. Okay, Snug, estate planning software for advisors. Marianne, I need to understand this situation. This is back in 2023. I think, yeah, these are both back in 2023, so just a year ago. How is it that these people are not practicing law without a license? I'm in a room with a financial planner who rented a room, ran a Facebook ad, and talking about estate planning. What's going on here? January of this year. Can you believe this? No need for an attorney. Let your financial planner keep your estate planning in-house. Snug. Snug. LPL inks a deal with trustandwill.com. 22,000 LPL affiliated financial advisors will be using trustandwill.com to serve their clients. Now we have Estately coming on, a product of free will. And we have Origin that will be providing estate planning documents through employers. And while AI cannot operate independently yet, it is operating right now through financial advisors, and soon it will operate independently. That's what's coming. It will operate independently. So I'm curious if you are already seeing this in your practice area. Are you already seeing this in your practice area, whatever that practice area might be? If so, give us a little share here. Tell us about it. What are you seeing in your practice area? So you cannot compete with tech this way. And tech is going to replace all of this 100%. So what's the answer? Is it just to go cheap legal? Estate planning, simple and convenient. Let me do your estate plan for $2,500, but cut my price to $1,799. Is that the solution? Estate plans made easy. $1,500 estate plans, details here. Here's what the process is. Complete your form in 5 to 10 minutes, meet for 30 to 60 minutes, review your draft, 15 to 30 minutes, meet again, 30 to 60 minutes, schedule your notary appointment, finalize, sign, and pay 30 to 60 minutes. That's what cheap legal looks like. And if that's what you are doing, if that's how you are offering your legal services, you're not going to be in business very long. So don't get scared. I am sharing with you here some numbers. I am sharing with you here a spreadsheet. And what I'm showing you here is that sub $2,000 per client average fees will end up putting you out of business, because the more clients you get, the worse it gets. Just take a look here. If you started off with just 2 clients at $2,000 on average, and then ramped up to even 10 new clients a month at $2,000 on average, you end the year with only $136,000. That's quite far away from that $250,000 minimum that I said you needed to be at. And worse, you have to serve all these clients on your own with no help, because you can't afford to pay anybody. And then all you're doing is putting out documents that they could do on the internet themselves. You're not making a real difference in their lives. You're giving them a set of documents that they put on a shelf or in a drawer and they'll never look at again. That's not why you went to law school. In the age of AI, you must differentiate, but it won't happen through your legal marketing. Okay, these are posts from different estate groups or Facebook groups. People looking for different marketing solutions. Anyone use a marketing company that actually works? How's everyone marketing for estate planning? Let's talk marketing agencies for a minute. What about networking? Is that a marketing strategy that you'd recommend? There are plenty of broke lawyers out there providing free advice in these Facebook groups, and it's frankly leading you astray and wasting your valuable time. Focusing on marketing isn't the solution. Now, it is one small piece of the puzzle. And the best marketers in the world have figured out that selling to lawyers is lucrative. So yeah, you're getting bombarded with marketing direction and guidance through really good marketing, and then you buy what they have to sell, but it doesn't work because marketing is just one piece of the puzzle. So maybe you're buying leads or buying something teaching you how to do intake and sales. And yes, marketing, or how to build your team or your technology or improve your skills, all so that you can profit. But in today's legal business environment, you cannot afford to have a disjointed system with an overemphasis on marketing. Here's what you need instead: a differentiated service model. One that sets you apart from everyone else in your community, whether that's AI, legal tech, financial advisors, insurance salespeople, or name that tune in your own practice area. Maybe you're a divorce lawyer and it's divorce financial analysts, or technology that's doing people's divorces for them. Maybe you're in bankruptcy and it's the paralegals that are filing people's bankruptcies for them, right? You don't need to compete with any of that. What you need is a differentiated service model with heart at the center. A differentiated service model is what allows you to make a great living, reclaim your most valuable resource, your time, because that's non-renewable. See, as a lawyer, you can always make more money when you have a differentiated service model, a high-value service that people want and need. You can always make more money. It's time, energy, and attention that you can't make more of. And you do that by having a service that makes a real impact in your community. When you have this, a differentiated service model, you don't have to worry about competing. Instead, you can create goals that are based on a cash flow forecast and a calendar to match. with a service model that feels so good to you and your clients. And the result of that is you work just the right amount and provide a great service while you make what you want and need to earn to have a great life. And you can dial it up or dial it down. So this is just one of the versions of our practice models that I told you about. This is a mid-level staffed practice model. And with the right guidance and support, you can build this practice model from scratch over the next 18 to 24 months. Trish, who I showed you earlier, she was here after about 24 months. Okay, average of 12 new clients a month, average fee $4,000, top line revenue of $678,000. Okay, let's look at our solo model. If you don't want to have to build a team, you can serve 3, 5, and then ramp up to 6 new clients a month, getting up to an average fee of about $5,500. You'll outsource, you'll use technology. You don't have to build a big team. You can take home a little more than $100,000, $150,000 a year with this model. And then we've got the empire builder model. Okay, 25 new clients a month, average fee of $4,500 plus some recurring revenue built in for ongoing support and maintenance of your clients' plans. And you're looking at $1.4 million a year of revenue. You'll take home about $400,000 to $500,000 of that, maybe more, depending on how much time you want to take off. So which one of these models is the right model for you? Which one of these models is the right model for you? Is it the solo? Is it the staffed? Or is it the empire? Just based on what you've seen here, and really how much you want to take home and how much team and how much leadership you want to exercise. Go ahead and let me know. Okay, so how does it work? How do you build a differentiated service model that works for you in your practice area? Well, a differentiated service model is the coordinated process of systems. A coordinated process of systems that begins with educating to attract the right clients, intaking those clients, those prospects really, and engaging them with a service delivery model that ultimately leads to an ascension and succession model. So they're paying you on an ongoing basis. So you build the relationship with the way that you educate people in your community. You build the relationship with the systems you create to educate, bring people into your community first as leads, building relationship with them through your marketing, ongoing relationship building, have a system for your intake, a system for your sales process, a system for delivering your service, and then a system for maintaining that relationship over time. And all of that gets built around a heart-centered counseling methodology where you are not just the attorney at law, but the counselor at law as well. Who am I and how do I know this? So I graduated back in 1999 from Georgetown Law, clerked on the 11th Circuit, and then worked at the law firm of Munger, Tolles & Olson for 3 years. Charlie Munger's firm, Warren Buffett's partner, right-hand lawyer, now the late Charlie Munger. May he rest in peace. And after 3 years, I left there to build my own solo practice from scratch into $1 million a year revenue generating law business in just 3 years. I didn't know anything about business whatsoever. I had to learn everything that I'm sharing with you today from scratch. And I learned much of it the hard way, making massive investments and trying to figure things out through trial and error, failing. But every time getting back up, learning from the failure and creating a system as a result to ensure it wouldn't happen again. I don't have time today to go into every single one of those systems, but I will share with you as much as I possibly can so that you can skip that trial and error yourself and learn through what I have learned the hard way, the expensive way. If you do want to read about much of what I've learned, I'll let you know how you can get copies of my books for free today. In my 4th year in my own practice, I was going into the office just 2 to 3 days a week, still generating more than $1 million a year in revenue. In my 5th year, I sold my practice and I wrote the best-selling book on legal planning for families. This is the 2nd edition of it. And I began appearing on all of the top television shows, Good Morning America, Today Show, teaching about estate planning.
I say get started. And that's really why I wrote the book, because I wanted to make it something that was easier and lighter to talk about. That's why the title, Where wear clean underwear. Our moms always told us wear clean underwear, but now that you're a parent, wearing clean underwear in case you're in an accident isn't enough. There's important legal planning steps you've got to take.
That was the first edition. The book is called Wear Clean Underwear because I noticed that there was many holes in the legal planning process for families with young children. And your mom always told you to wear clean underwear in case you're in an accident. Well, once you're a parent, wearing clean underwear alone is no longer enough. There's important legal planning steps that you need to take. And the book Wear Clean Underwear shares those steps in detail, including how to hire the right attorney to help you. So I do have today 2 books, New Law Business Model Revealed, how to build a lucrative law practice that you and your clients love, and this book, Wear Clean Underwear. If you would like us to send you copies of these books, just go ahead and come on into the chat. And Sean, if you can just let everybody know, what do they need to do to get copies of the books? Do they need to give you their number or text you? So if you would love a copy of Wear Clean Underwear and or New Law Business Model, you can ask for one or both, and Sean will send those to you. Just text him and let him know if you want one of them or both of them, and he'll get all of your information to send those books either digitally, or we can send you a hard copy as well. So just go ahead and text Sean at 720-844-5811. That's 720-844-5811. I'm also the mentor behind most of the creators of the estate planning courses that you've probably seen, and the founder of New Law and Personal Family Lawyer. I've been doing this a really long time. This was the office, the business that I built. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I did it for my kids who today are grown, but that was them back in the day. And also, really, Charlie and Warren. Because what I discovered is that the way that lawyers were taught to serve their clients, and I figured this out 20 years ago, even though it's even more relevant today, is broken. It all started when I was in law school, or shortly thereafter, when my father-in-law died. My father-in-law was the grandchild of Powell Crosley, the inventor of Crosley cars and radios. So he had some resources, and he was my husband's stepfather. When he died, he had an estate plan, and he had spent $3,000 on this estate plan specifically to keep us out of court and from having to deal with his ex-wife. $3,000, more than 20 years ago. And yet, after his death, we were in the probate court and having to deal with his ex-wife. And this is the Florida Department of Unclaimed Property, where there's still assets of my father-in-law, Lou Crosley, to this day, stuck in the Florida Department of Unclaimed Property. That is what I call a failed estate plan. He spent $3,000 to keep us out of court, to keep his assets from being lost, keep us from having to deal with his ex-wife, and that plan failed. And I thought that that lawyer must have committed malpractice. But then I went to one of the best law firms in the country, Munkert, Tolles & Olson, and I found that we were doing planning exactly the same way. How could that be? How could it be? Well, what I discovered is that there was something broken in the estate planning process, and I knew that it would become a real problem today when technology would take over. Because back then, the way that we needed to do estate planning required a lot of document processing. So really, in some ways, that's what we were charging for, was processing of documents. But today, processing documents costs nothing. And yet, today, estate planning lawyers are still selling documents. And if you are a lawyer who is still selling documents or transactions or anything else that can be handled by technology, you're going to be out of business in the next 1 to 5 years. So you've got to do something different. Now, I saw this almost 20 years ago. This was me when I was teaching what I'm teaching you here today. Obviously, a very early version of it. One of my clients just sent me this as she was cleaning out her cabinets and came across it. So I thought I'd share it with you just to show you how far we've come. Today, here at Personal Family Lawyer, with what I'm sharing with you, we have more than 600 examples of lawyers that are using the strategies that I'm sharing with you today to not compete with AI or any other professionals or cheap legal for that matter. with our heart-centered counseling methodologies, because you are a counselor at law. And it's time for you to remember that and to build your differentiated service model around what is uniquely human. And you build in the heart and counsel right from the start so that you don't have to compete with other lawyers selling documents, financial advisors, or the technology, the AI that is coming that will be able to do it. If these lawyers can do it, so can you. And they did. David Taylor joined us in 2021. He closed the year with an $87,000 a month. Yep, right in the middle of COVID. He said, that's more than I made in my first year as an estate planning attorney before New Law, before finding us. And now, just a few years later, he passed a lifetime of $2 million in total revenue. He was with us for 3 of those years. Okay. His first year, he made less than $87,000, $2 million of revenue after 3 years with us. Levi says, when Levi, by the way, joined us on a scholarship many, many, many years ago. And he says, the last 7 family wealth planning sessions I've engaged for $7,000 each. I started asking the $1,000 question in a new way, and now everyone is saying yes. This is the power of counseling. He says, I made more in 1 week than I made in either my first or second year of practicing law. And we've got a number of other celebrations that I could celebrate with you here, but I want to move on to where do you start? Where you start is free, organic, heart-connected marketing, education, networking that leads into an intake and engagement system, all of which is tied around your counseling methodology. Okay, so this is an example. Rebecca in April said, hi everyone, brand new personal family lawyer, just passed the assessment. I'm excited to start spreading the word about my practice. She asked for help because she wanted to post in a local moms group. They have a weekly small business post and people are allowed to share, and she wanted to share something. So she asked what, for some guidance on what she should share. And then just a few days later, her coach celebrated. Okay. She said, I literally cried when I booked that last June appointment. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagined I would have this much success this early on. I'm so thankful to all of you at New Law. The support is remarkable every step of the way. So what did she do? What did she do? She used curiosity. Curiosity is part of a counseling methodology that we teach that far too few lawyers know how to use. Curiosity. So we have a playbook that we call the Curiosity Questions Playbook. And if you would like a copy of the Curiosity Questions Playbook, and you're watching this, then go ahead and text Sean 720-844-5811, and we will send you a copy of the Curiosity Questions Playbook. Okay, the Curiosity Questions Playbook. So you can as well look and understand what did Rebecca do in order to lead with free, organic, heart-connected marketing leading into her intake and engagement process. See, all of this is built around a heart-centered, differentiated service model. What makes Rebecca different? From cheap legal, selling documents, AI, technology, people could do it themselves online, or even using a financial advisor. It's not the documents, it's the service model. You can text Sean at 720-844-5811. All right, so we saw Rebecca, and if you wanted the Curiosity Questions Playbook, you have now texted Sean asking for the Curiosity Questions Playbook. So you can see an example of what does heart-connected marketing leading into intake and engagement that differentiates you from AI, financial advisors, or cheap legal in your community look like. Now, what does it look like to have an intake and engagement system that's built around a heart-centered service? Well, this is Pam up here in the corner. You might know Pam as Law Mother. She's on Instagram, Law Mother Co. You can see she has 1.6 million followers. Pam began with us about 5 years ago. Didn't know anything about estate planning at the time whatsoever. Today, as you can see, she's a social media star. And that's because she built her marketing, she just followed what we told her to do. She's a personal family lawyer firm leader. And so she built her business around our DSM, our differentiated service model. Today, she's able to generate all of the marketing that she needs organically into her intake and engagement system. The reality is she can't serve all of the clients possibly that she generates with 1.6 million followers. And so a lot of that overflow comes into our personal family lawyer network and is distributed to our personal family lawyer members. So this is an example of an intake and engagement system that leads to our lawyers getting hired by just about every client that goes through the system. So you begin with intake. Intake means either a 15-minute conversation or a well-crafted presentation. That then leads into a planning session that has a name, a purpose, and a value. And that planning session is a working meeting where you are going to help your clients actually to choose their own fee among 3 different options. Now, here's the key, and this is part of what makes your service model differentiated. Your 3 options that you're going to help your clients choose between cannot be based in documents. Of course, you're going to provide documents, but you're helping them choose between outcomes. If you do this, you'll have an engagement rate of 80 to 100%. Now, that is unheard of in any industry, But because it's part of a differentiated service model, that's exactly what happens. Okay, and so we have a whole system that we've laid out for the intake, the engagement, the pricing of the services. And if you are currently selling documents or one-off transactions, this is the time to stop and do something different. And make sure that you have all of the pieces that you need to be able to support people to choose how they want to work with you and be able to do so visually so that they can see the different options. I want you all to take a moment right now and take an honest look at your service model, because you have a service model. It just may not have been well thought out or intentional, and it's probably not very heart-centered. So call your office. Start with that. Can you feel the heart and how your phone is answered? Or how your email inquiries are replied to? Is your phone answered with law offices or with a smiling face or even a technology that can make the people that are calling or emailing your office feel welcome and as if they're going to be hiring a counselor, somebody who can really support them to make good decisions? Because you need to change how you think of your job. Your job is to help people who need you learn how to make the right buying decision based on what's good for them. Here's an example of how we do that when we get the inevitable phone call or email that asks, how much does a will cost? Well, during our 15-minute conversation, we're going to help the client to understand what is the right question to ask, because that's not it, right? The right question to ask isn't how much does it cost? You want to support them to recognize that you can take them through a process to identify how much their plan should cost at the right budget for them. That's at the intersection between their family dynamics and their desires and their assets. You also want to have collateral support material to follow up if people aren't ready to make an appointment for a planning session right away. So that's why we created this report on 5 ways a $1,500 or less estate plan could fail your family. Our lawyers will use this to follow up with anybody that's not immediately ready to make an appointment for a planning session, thereby beginning to create a system where they build relationship and they solidify that relationship over time. And this is where the heart-centered counseling comes in. When people do come in to meet with you, you want a near 100% engagement rate. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and you're wasting their time. Okay, and you can see these are our celebrations from October and November of 2023 on our Mastering Client Engagement call. We do these every month, and you can see we're celebrating every month the lawyers that have 100% or very close to it engagement. And average fees that you can see here range between about $4,000. We've even got one $7,000 in there. And this is just consistent. This is what you can expect when you have a heart-centered counseling methodology. And it works because it's counseling focused and coordinated. not disjointed. And is built around the differentiated service model, where everything, where your leads come from, your marketing, the way you communicate, the way you do intake, the way you do engagement, the way you offer your service, build your team, set up your technology, and ultimately profit is all coordinated around a unique way of serving your clients, where you are counseling right from the start. Your job being to help people make the right buying decision. Your focus is on counseling them to do just that, never convincing, never persuading, but instead using educational tools to show them what they need to see in order to choose your service. And you build it around your service. Now, trying to create all of this on your own is unnecessary if someone has already done it for you. If you offer estate planning, we have done it for you. If you offer another service, bankruptcy, divorce, workers' comp, fill in the blank, personal injury, you can either create the wheel and then offer it to other lawyers as we do here, or find somebody who has and make the investment so that you're leveraging your money, which you can always make more of, to save time, energy, and attention, which you can't. And you want to use tech and AI to serve at the highest, most efficient level. So these are some of the tech services that we've partnered with to customize their services and support our personal family lawyer firms to serve as efficiently and effectively as possible, so that our firm leaders stay focused on educating their communities and engaging their clients while we put together all of the systems necessary to do it. So we've customized with TrueState, Decision Vault, Wealth Counsel, and Lawmatics, just to name a few. That's how we're using tech to support our lawyers to remain in the role of counselors. It's been my dream for more than 20 years to create that, and I think we are close. I think we are on our way. And you want to leverage community so that you can stay in the role of counselor, right? So I think I mentioned to you a little earlier, Pam, Law Mother. A huge shout out to Pam for continuously educating our communities. One of your followers finally made the decision to go to the PFL website, find an attorney in Houston, planning session booked. Yuki mentioned that somebody read my Wear Clean Underwear book, went to the Personal Family Lawyer website, found her, and ended up hiring Yuki. Easy peasy. We want you to leverage community. Do it together so you don't need to do it alone, so you can stay in the role of counselor and ultimately create your clients for life. In the age of AI, we need to position ourselves as the trusted advisors for our clients' lifetimes and beyond. With our service model, this is the Ascension Succession piece. So our PFL membership includes a family care program, which is a recurring revenue program that you put into your practice to be able to serve your clients for life. For our lawyers just doing estate planning, not serving business owners, the revenue from that is about, $500 to $3,000 a year per client. For our lawyers who are serving business owners, their revenue from that is between $750 to $10,000 a month for the business owners they serve. And that's recurring revenue. One of our members posted about this because she got advertised a workshop to teach her how to put this in place for $12,000 per firm. We just include it in what we provide because we think it's so critical. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all coordinated and built around your humanity, the piece of you that is uniquely human and that cannot be replaced by technology. And that's what you want to do, is you want to have a system that is built around your humanity so that clients wouldn't consider not using you and instead just going with a technology solution. The way that we help our lawyers to do that is through something we call C4. And as Ashley said, it's one of the best investments you'll make in your business and in your relationships. If your engagement rate is not where you want it to be, you owe it to yourself and your prospects to attend C4. It is the linchpin, Valerie says, and Brett says, prior to coming to New Law, I attended numerous personal development seminars. None have so dramatically affected my ability to communicate and connect with my clients as C4. And this is where we have the opportunity to get together with other lawyers and really grow ourselves, really grow our humanity, the parts of ourselves that cannot ever be replaced by technology. If you are offering estate planning services or you think you want to, you may want to join us as a personal family lawyer firm leader. We do have over 600 personal family lawyer firm leaders today who are operating all across the United States, and we're beginning to expand outside of the United States as well. We will be global, and this is what the journey looks like. And first, you join us and you learn how to provide life and legacy planning, the differentiated service model that cannot be competed with by AI. Certainly, you will provide documents, but that's only a very small piece of what you do. Instead, it is a heart-centered counseling-based methodology for serving your clients for life and being there for their family when they can't be. You'll learn the model hands-on by creating or upgrading your own plan, and then learning to engage clients using our planning session process, either the family wealth planning session or the life and legacy planning session. Both are the same. You get to choose, and then you'll take your PFL assessment. And when you take your PFL assessment and choose to focus on a specific niche, whether that's serving plain old families with young kids at home, business owners, high net worth families, families who have kids with special needs, families with seniors, LGBTQIA families, blended families, you'll begin to really focus your marketing. You'll get listed on our website and you'll get access to all of our marketing resources so that you do not have to reinvent the wheel. You do not have to create it alone. Instead, you get all of the support that you need, from business coaching for setting your goals, to weekly article content, to social media content, to presentations for you to do in your local community to generate exactly the number of clients that you need to serve so you can scale your firm. As a solo, from 150 to 300,000 of revenue, 250 is really the minimum, and then up to a staffed practice and 7-figure if you want to go there. It's totally up to you. And we do have a guarantee. If you're brand new to estate planning, you get a double your money guarantee. And the way it works is simple. You make double what you paid for your membership, or we work with you for free until you do. But if you're already doing estate planning, it gets even better with a $150,000 guarantee. We promise you that you'll boost your revenue by at least $150,000 or 140%. And if you fall short, we'll keep you in the program for free until you do it. And now you have a choice. You can keep doing things the way that you've always done them, or you can speak with a law business advisor about building your own estate planning practice with life and legacy planning. Your law business advisor will help you to clarify your vision, determine if we're a mutual fit, understand how we support you, and to make an informed decision, help you to make a buying decision based on what's actually right for you, much in the same way that you'll help your clients to make a buying decision as well, so that you're helping them do what's right for them. No convincing, no persuading, simple service to help them get what they want in the same way that we'll help you to get what you want. So if you're working way too hard, or you have a sneaking suspicion that what you're doing isn't really making a difference in your clients' lives, or maybe you're just wondering what happened to the fulfillment of lawyering, or maybe wondering why you went to law school in the first place, billing by the hour or charging too low of flat fees, falling into that cheap legal trap, maybe even working with opposing counsel you can't stand, or stuck in conflict that has your family not even liking who you are, and you're done with that, and want to have a great life and make a great living with a differentiated service model that cannot be replaced by AI, cheap legal, or financial advisors coming into the space, then you'll want to book a call with a law business advisor. You can do that by going to newlawbusinessmodel.com/growth. That's newlawbusinessmodel.com/growth. The key here is that you have to want to serve families and/or business owners in a new way, a way that's truly meaningful and makes their lives and their businesses better. And you have to be willing to invest in creating the systems to deliver on an outstanding service that does right by your clients and that cannot be replaced by AI, cheap legal, or financial advisors. And you have to hold yourself to the highest standards of integrity and come into full congruence in every part of your life and law practice. If that's you, then I do want you to book a call now at newlawbusinessmodel.com/growth. And when you do, we're going to give you your own customized copy of our cash flow forecasting planner. So on the call with your law business advisor, they will customize this with you so that you can see exactly what you'll need to do and what you'll need to invest to get from exactly where you are now to where you want to go, whether that's a solo model, a staffed practice model, or an empire model. and how long it will take for you to get there based on the resources that you have now and those that you're going to be able to create as a result of having a law practice that you love turn into a business that you and your clients love as well. Now, if you don't offer estate planning right now, but you're thinking about it, especially after what I shared with you today, we love to over deliver. Then we want to give you the curiosity questions playbook, and we can get you the curiosity questions playbook so you can start asking people in your community questions in the right way that will lead to them saying, oh, I need to get that taken care of. And then you, with your differentiated service model, if you'll let us help you build that, we'll be able to serve them. So why are we doing this? Well, we have 600 plus licensed personal family lawyer firms now, but we need way more because there's significant demand here in the United States alone, with 33 million mass affluent families who are not properly served by AI, even traditional wills and trust lawyers selling cheap legal, or their financial advisors. So we are going out and creating demand, for example, through Pam. Gosh, it looks like when I got this screenshot of her, she had 197,000 followers on TikTok. Today, she has 1.6 million followers on Instagram and growing. I think her TikTok following has exploded as well. Jerry Taylor, another personal family lawyer, also out there bringing in the clients. We need more lawyers to serve these clients, but first you need to be trained as a personal family lawyer. Kendra, one of our PFL firms, just did a webinar for turbo tenant for landlords and real estate investors with 1,000 people registered. 72% of the people didn't have any planning in place at all, but own multiple properties. We want to send those clients to you if you've got a differentiated service model, if you are a personal family lawyer firm. So if you would love to leverage what we've created to have a differentiated service model that cannot be replaced by AI, cheap legal, or financial advisors, book your call to speak with a law business advisor today. Go to newlawbusinessmodel.com/growth. That's newlawbusinessmodel.com/growth, and you can schedule. I still look forward to seeing you on one of our coaching calls and really helping you to love your life as a lawyer. Because you can and you should. You invested a lot of time, energy, attention, and money to go to law school, to pass the bar, and now it's time for you to make a real difference in your clients' lives.